I'm having visions.
The body of Dr. Florence Weaver was found brutally murdered in her home this morning.
Did you know her? No, but I saw her die. I'm seeing things. I'm seeing murders as they're happening.
Hello?
Well, James Wan is back into the world of horror. He took a break from, I think Conjuring 2, I think it was the last horror movie he did, which was like 2016. This came out last year, 2021. In between that, he did Aquaman, which still haven't seen, but I'll eventually get to that. And yeah, I was very much excited to see his return to horror, and he does not disappoint. So this movie, it is written by him and his wife, and they're actually they both wrote that new movie Megan that's coming out next year in 2023, which I remember when the trailer hit, I watched it and I'm like, okay, like interesting. And then all I just saw was just people just talking about a certain part in the trailer. And I'm like, yep, I kind of knew that was going to happen, but okay. I still want to go see it. So, but that movie, I don't think Juan's directing that, but this he did. So this movie is about a woman who was dealing with pretty much an abusive relationship, and after a freak occurrence, she finds out that her boyfriend is dead, and which, real quick, good riddance, he wasn't a good guy anyway. And she was pregnant, and during the whole ordeal, she had a miscarriage. So, but through the course of the movie, she ends up finding out more about her past. She's somebody is taunting her, and she finds out it's connected to her past, and that's all I'm going to say, because this movie is pretty bonkers, and in a good way. So this has I think it was Annabelle Wallis, who I've seen twice in other stuff. She was in Annabelle, which, wow, that was horrible. And which, interesting enough, James Wan produced that because it was connected to The Conjuring. But yeah, terrible movie. And Tom Cruise's The Mummy movie, which which is why I said Tom Cruise's The Mummy movie, because it was like Tom Cruise featuring The Mummy. So yeah, whatever. This I liked her in. Those two, mainly The Mummy, I'm just like, yeah, your character really isn't written very well. And then with Annabelle, it's just like the entire movie sucks. But that's what happens when you have the same director as Mortal Kombat Annihilation doing your movie, or even Wish Upon. So there you go. But with this, she commits, and I applaud her for that. The script, okay, so the whole thing with this movie is this movie gets a lot of flack because people are like, oh, you made a bad movie on purpose. Why is this being so silly? It's because it's not trying to be serious. It's not trying to be like a straightforward horror movie. It's not interested in doing that. It's like, okay, you know what? Let's have this premise, but have some fun with it. Let's not be serious. Let's be somewhat over the top about it. And in the script, you can tell. And if you go into that mind frame of what they're doing, I think you'll end up having a good time watching this. Because if you go into it thinking like, okay, this is, first, like, I'd say first 30 minutes, if you're not convinced, like, okay, this is just an over the top movie, then you're not going to like the movie. You need to go into this with the mind frame of it being over the top and it being cheesy and all the cliches are kind of there. But, if you go into that mindset, I think you'll have a great time watching this. There's also in the movie, there's a lot of giallo influences, especially with the way like some scenes are shot, and there's a whole like detective mystery going on around the movie, which I think helps very well. And that's the other thing too. The acting is pretty good. They all committed. They all know that, like, okay, the script's not that great. We get it. It's being over the top. We understand it. And there are moments in here where you're like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you doing that? But again, you just gotta, it's just it just keeps moving and moving and moving. And you're like, okay, let's just keep going with this. And like I said, if you just go into that mind frame, you'll end up having a good time with this. Then it starts that way. It starts like very like setting up, like building up what's going on. Makes you immediately feel for the characters. There's also a little bit of humor to the movie, which again, the over the top thing, which the humor works. And then when it's revealed, like the whole past and why this being is basically stalking her, it's like, oh, well, that sucks. So it kind of catches you off guard. And then, yeah, the third act just goes completely crazy and nuts and bonkers. And I'm just like, dude, I love this thing. I love this thing. And this is one of those movies where I watched it back when Warner Brothers was kind of trying the whole experiment thing with releasing like movies in theaters, but also on HBO Max at the same time. And I watched this on HBO Max, and I was like, "Yep, dude, I gotta show this to people." So I just kept recommending it to everybody, showed it to some family members, and they really liked it. And they knew straight away. They were like, "Is this supposed to be serious?" I'm just like, "Just go with it. Just go with it." And they did, and they all liked it. So I like these like horror movies that aren't taking themselves too seriously. I always get a kick out of those. And James Wan, I've already liked. Like, I really like his Saw movie that he did. I liked the first two Conjuring movies. And yeah, I think he works really well with horror. Dead Silence, that's a topic for another day. But I really like James Wan as a director and also as a writer too. I really want him to do more horror movies, even though he made a name of himself doing horror movies, but I still want to see more. So if you like over the top stuff that doesn't take itself seriously, and if you also like those old like Italian like giallo movies, so like there's like detective stories, but also if you like just like also over the top gore too, because this movie is also pretty gory, which was awesome. then you'll totally get a kick out of this. I immediately, when I heard it was coming out on physical release, I immediately ran and pre-ordered that. And I'm just like, give it to me, because I want to show this to everybody. So this also feels like a little word of mouth movie, even though it's from a big studio and it's from James Wan, who kickstarted Saw. He did The Conjuring. He kickstarted two horror franchises that are just now tons of sequels and tons of spin-offs, and it's just crazy. So the fact that this movie is just kind of like a little underground movie is a bit shocking to me, and it's kind of bums me out that this movie's not getting talked about more. And they did talk about possibly doing another one. Do I personally think it needs another one? No. Would I like to see another one? Sure. But do I think it needs another one? No. I'm cool with it just being a one-off. So this movie gets a great. It's not an amazing, even though I kept praising the movie. It's not hitting that mark yet. But yeah, I absolutely adore this movie.
Mom, what do you know?
He's coming for me.